Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time where we can relax and craft together for about an hour in the evening. And I typically work on projects from beginning to end. So tonight we are going to continue on our Splendid Sampler 2. This is Block 20, Big Sun by Lissa Alexander. So we just got through some of the cutting. We have one more little piece, some template pieces to cut out yet, and then we can start sewing. So there's quite a bit of sewing in this block, so I was hoping we could get some of that done tonight. So thanks again for joining me, guys. It is New Block Thursday tomorrow. So if you want more info on this, head over to thesplendidsampler.com. So New Block Thursday is tomorrow, and I think it'll be from the new book. So it's the Splendid Sampler 2 book. I hope you guys yours have started to come in. I got mine about a week and a half ago. So I think the new one will come from here somewhere. They won't have the instructions on the splendidsampler.com anymore. It'll be from the book, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be tomorrow. So let's see if we can get at least a little bit further on this block tonight. All right, going to flip you around. We'll call it. All right, here we go. Big Sun. So we have a few things cut up already. Oh, just so you guys know, instead of doing all mixed up fabrics like this, assorted fabrics, I decided to keep it kind of simple, and I did similar fabrics. I didn't mix up my fabrics for each section. I kind of left them as is. So let's just kind of see what we got going on here. This is my little centerpiece. Looks like we got some side pieces, top and bottom. We'll go here. It's kind of fun laying it out. All right, and we cut a whole bunch of A pieces. We have this little A template here. And then we have a whole pile of little, gosh, like 1.5 inch squares here. We got a bunch of white ones. So all of the cream ones in the background are these white squares. I just did white instead. These are some of these little shapes in here, I believe. So that's the A. The A squares like this. Is this the same every direction? I'm not sure it is. Maybe it is. We'll go like that. Okay, and then we need to cut out these B squares yet, and I believe they're all cut out from here. Let's just make sure. Make plastic templates for the A and B. So here's the B. I'm not doing templates. I just cut it out of paper here. Trace the B templates onto each of the B rectangles. So the B rectangles were the 8, 1 1/4 by 3 inches, and that sure looks like these. 1 1/4 and 3. Yep. All right. So I'm going to do it the same way that I cut these out. And that is, I have my little rotating cutting mat. I'm just going to plop it on top of everything here. And I'm going to take about half of this stack. Yeah, so there's 8. There should be 8, and there is. This fabric feels a little thicker. So I hope I can cut through all of it. But I'm going to try and cut through these all at once just to speed things up with my rotary cutter and a little ruler. So I'm going to plop that on there. And let's get let's get a nice little small ruler out. I'll use my Ruby ruler from Wisecraft Quilts. That's a good size. All right, so I'm going to just rotate this a bit. There, I think you can see a little bit better there. I'm going to actually shift the camera for you guys. There we go. Okay. Let's place that on top. And I'm just following the lines here. the edges of this template. All right. I could probably have put a little dab of glue on the template just so it stays in place, but I think we'll manage. Okay, I'm going to do the bottom piece. You want to make sure that you got a good, new, fresh rotary cutter blade if you're going to go through this many layers of fabric. So this is just 4 layers. I know people can cut through a whole lot more than 4, but we're just sticking to the 4. I don't think I could go through all 8 layers. All right, we got that little nubbin. But man, a rotating cutting mat is really helpful for this, because if I would keep moving this, I would keep moving that template, so I'd have to place that template every single time, which would be super annoying. These little nicks off of the end here, that's gonna, oop, there, dang, I nicked it. That's gonna help us match up the edges a little bit better when we sew this together. All right, there we go, good enough. Oh, Cynthia, I have rotary cutter gloves. Actually, I think that's what these are. You know what? I'm going to start wearing them. I originally got these for the rotary cutter on purpose, just so I don't accidentally cut myself. So they have grips. I've been using them for my for my free motion quilting, but I actually got them for cutting. Oh, it looks like I stained them. That's weird. But yeah, so it's made with some sort of fabric that this is closed, but if I slide up against it, I shouldn't cut through my finger. So let's give it a go. I haven't really used them. They're just, the size of them are just so awkward, and that's why I haven't been using it a whole lot, but let's give it a go. First, we gotta stack these up. Yeah, that freaks me out, the idea of, you know, I've seen people or photos of when people cut their finger with the rotary cutter, and that just, it really, ugh, that could put me out for a long time. Scares me, don't like it. All right, I really could kind of align this bottom edge along the edge of my fabric, but I want a nice clean edge, so I'm cutting it extra. So I don't think I need one on this hand, really. It's more for this, like if I accidentally slide my finger in front of the ruler or something. This is also why I'm in the super good habit of immediately after I'm done cutting, I close the cutter right away. I've had to develop that habit, and I think it's a good habit to have. Ooh, yeah, this is awkward, but I'm gonna try and get used to this. I still need smaller ones. It's impossible to find small gloves. Like these are actually pretty tight fitting around the fingers, but they're so big. Like who has, I don't know, someone who has just, I guess, the longest fingers ever would, skinny hands and long fingers. That's who this glove is meant for. That's who all gloves are meant for, apparently. I don't know. I have not, even when they have measurements online that say that it would fit me with like actual like measurements, they never do. It's no fun. All right, we're almost done. Just one more side. I've seen so many people, it freaks me out, but they open their cutter like this, and then they just let it sit on the counter while they do other stuff, and then they grab it again. Oh my God, that freaks me out. They're just waiting to be chopping their fingers off. Drives me nuts. Freaks me out. All right, one more little snip. Kind of moved the template around a little bit, but I think we'll still be okay. Okay, done with cutting. Get all these schnivels out of the way. All right, gloves going out of here. I think we're done with it for a bit. Done with this guy. Okay, so here are our B pieces. Oh, we got this other stack up here too, if that's right. All of our B pieces and our A pieces. I think what comes next is we are going to sew the B pieces to the A pieces. So that's this step right here. Join two A pieces, two A and two B shapes to make a unit that measures, oh gosh, hopefully this measures exactly this, 1.5 by 2.5, make 4 units. All right, let's give it a try. This sounds a little scary, this sewing, but it looks like, I mean, we're gonna have to sew them in separate. Let's do it exactly how it shows here. So we'll have some top ones. So I'm just gonna divide this by 4 again. We'll have top ones and bottom ones. You can scooch out of the way. Schnibbles on the list. That's a new one for today. All right, so we got the top and bottom, and we got our side one. So let's split these into 4 as well. There's 8 of these. So these 4 will go right here, and these 4 will go right there. So this will, I think, help keep us a little organized. So when I'm going to just kind of grab now and sew on the machine, but I just want to look at one once. So because we cut out those little nubbins on the end, we should be able to just match up the straight line part, and they should match fine. So when we fold them together with right sides together, we should be matching up as best we can the beginning and the end of that line and still doing our 1/4 inch. It should hopefully work out fine. And if not, we'll just deal with it. Deal with it then. So, all right, let's get down to the machine. I do have to switch. I have to, my thread's hiding out in the back here. We did come here. We did that hand stitching last night. So I took this off. So we have to rethread the machine and put that other foot on. So let's do that. We still have our walking foot on. Ooh, we're a little wiggly there. Sorry, let's get situated for a sec. Okay, let's do that. Now the heater's on. It's blowing my thread everywhere. All right, let's get this off. And get that little light on. We can take our walking foot off. We used this yesterday for when we were doing the quilt as you go. The giant big old walking foot. The walking foot pulls the top and the bottom. It has like feed dogs built in, so it can pull from the top as well as from the bottom. So it works for when you have a lot of thick pieces of fabric together. So all right, let's get this guy back on. Oh, and we can pull this thread out because it's not connected to anything. We got the thread sitting right here. All right. Took me forever to do this correctly, thread my machine correctly. I had been threading it wrong for years, and it worked, but my tension was all messed up. Then finally I figured out I wasn't looping it into the tension. Oh gosh, what is this called? The tension coils here. Okay, we're all set. So again, I'm gonna just grab from these piles. I'll do all of these first, and then I'll do all of these. Then I can make sure. I suppose it's the same difference. Like if I rotate this, it's actually all the same. So they're all the same. Let's just stack them, and we'll grab them as we go. Actually, I think I'm going to grab them. Oop. Just trying to feel it out. I think grabbing them like that's going to just be easiest for me. So let's grab A piece and a B piece. Just one. There we go. Okay, so I got those two together, and I'm going to fold them so the right sides are together. I'm going to have to keep track of what the right side is for this because my white piece doesn't have a right or wrong side. All right, let's get a little starter on here. All right. I'm going to use my postcard, my business card here as a guide. Let's get an extra finger in here. Let's get our stiletto. Ooh, it's pulling kind of funny. All right, I think we're all right. Okay, that's our first one. Let's just keep going. Imagine that straight edge. We should have 8 of these. So after this, we'll press them all. Oh gosh, it's having trouble going through this first little bit here. Ooh, yeah, like a lot of trouble. We might have to try that one again. Oh man, I hope we don't have to do the thing where I have to put a little piece of paper up there. So there's a little trick where you can put a little piece of tissue paper where you start, and that can sometimes help with triangles and stuff, just little bits that want to go into the machine. I don't want to deal with all that. Let's hope we can get through it. Oh, your machine was pulling funny too when it was happening. It might be that can happen when you start with like some points and you're putting the points in. I wonder if it would be easier. It'll probably work. You know what? I'm going to try something else because that's what happens when you go from like a point to a bigger area. All right, let's get a real seam ripper out here. I'm going to try one other trick to see if I can get this, but let's just pick out these like couple stitches without trying to ruin my corner too much. Come on. All right. So I'm going to try, how was this? Like this. I'm going to try to sew from the middle down instead. I think then we're not starting at this like really acute point here. I'm going to try, so I'm going to actually flip it around. And I'm going to try sewing it this way. I think this will be helpful. There's more for the feed dogs to grab here, and I think this is why it'll work. Yeah. Okay, it's already feeling a million times better. So we're going to do it that way. So let's put the right sides together. And yeah, we're going to sew with this bigger angle here. More for the machine to grab onto. Seems to be working so much better. Hopefully we'll have to check, but yeah, it's looking good. Whew, phew. I did not want to have to deal with these corners getting sucked into the machine. This is kind of the same concept as when we do our flying geese units. Instead of going from like the tippity point of the square, we're starting from the middle of the rectangle. And there's just more for things to grab on. Yeah, I hate when it grabs those little corners too. And hopefully we have a bunch of half square triangles that we have to sew for this block too. They might want to eat a lot of those points, so we may still have to do the little tissue paper tip. Actually, I don't have any tissue paper, but we can try it with just copy paper that I have here. We'll see. Hopefully it just sews just fine. I could probably get a sharper needle on too, would be helpful, but I think it really, if we can do something like this where we have a bigger surface area and it doesn't want to eat the little corner right away, I think if we can accomplish that, then we'll be better off. All right, 2 more. Then we will press these and we will sew them up the other way. Hopefully they're the right size. It's not eating them at all anymore, doing them like this, so that's good. Oh, Bonnie, you haven't started yours yet? Yep, we are not going to get too much further on this tonight. We'll probably finish these, little wonky pieces that we're doing now. But there's a lot going on with this block yet. All right, that's that. Do I have another? Here we go. A little leader in here. Oh gosh, it's a mess though. Time to start a new one of these, I think. All right, let's snip this off, and I'm gonna. Now we got like all our chain piece bits, and I'm going to trim them and just stack them up so they're right on top of each other and going in the. Oh gosh, I think I just clipped some fabric off of one of these. Ugh. Hopefully I didn't do that. But I'm just going to stack these all so they're going the same way. Then I can just grab them all in the same way when we press them. All right, and one more. They're so funny. Let's undo one. There we go. So that's what it'll look like. And then we'll have another one that's going this way. So then we should be able to get those two together and have like some pretty little bits here. All right, let's press. All right, so I think, yep, the machine's all heated up here. Move our little ruby ruler. I got a stack of rulers happening over here. Okay. Oh, it looks like we press to different directions. Oh, it looks like we're always pressing towards the big block, the B piece. So I'm gonna start out. Here's that wonky one. This is the first one where it kind of grabbed the corner a little bit. But we're gonna press. Oh gosh, yeah, this is wacky, but I think it will be okay. So I have the B piece on the top, and I'm just giving it a little press to get started, and then I'm folding it over. I'm just being extra careful. We did, a lot of these are, because these are weird shapes, and a lot of times we've cut on the diagonal, it can get awfully stretchy. So anytime you have a diagonal cut, your fabric's going to want to stretch a bit, but I think we're good. So here we go. The seam allowance is going in that direction. That's our first piece. We'll stack them. Okay, next up. Now that here's where I'm being careful again, not to stretch too much. All right, I think we'll just leave it there. Whew, hot. So we got 8 of these. Still liking this iron a ton, not having to deal with a cord flapping all over the place. That's really nice. I'm still using just a dry iron. I suppose I could spray starch these a little bit. This is kind of, in the Splendid Sampler 1, that's when I first really started using spray starch. And on little itty bitty pieces like this, I think that's when starch could come in handy because, you know, we are, like I said, stretching the fabric a little bit with these diagonal cuts. And I think if we starched this, it would be, it wouldn't stretch as much, but I don't know. I just don't want to get starch burns everywhere. Does your curless hold water? So I have not actually, you know, it has a tank for water, but I haven't actually tried it out yet. So I hope it doesn't leak. I don't know, Robin. We should give that a test one of these days. But yeah, I've never actually put any put water in it yet. I hope it doesn't leak. That'd be sad. Ooh, this one I sewed kind of funny. We got a little kind of nick out of there, but I think that'll get covered in our 1/4 inch. We'll just like, oh yeah, because it got folded under a little bit. But I think that'll get enclosed in our seam allowance just enough that I don't think I'm gonna have to deal with it. But I have my eye on it at least. All these kind of have a little bit of that nick out of it. Sally says that she's put water in hers and it doesn't leak. Ugh, but not having a cord, holy moly, is that ever a nice feature that you don't know what that you're missing out until you've used an iron without a cord. All right, there we are. We got our 8 pieces stacked up here. Let's come back over here. And okay, so now, oh, you have to have good triangles. This block is all about precision. Yeah, that's what I'm scared about. So Mom, did you get all yours matched up well? Oh, now this part's weird. So we're matching up. In my head, I was thinking, oh, we'll nest these seams together because we pressed them different ways, but we have this oddball shape, so we won't be doing that. Wait a sec, how do we do this? We're going to want to match up the middles. Hold on a sec here. I gotta mind map this thing. So okay, this is going to be interesting because we're going to want to match up at the 1/4 inch. So, gosh, this would almost, oh, yeah, okay. So because of the way that we cut this out, we can just trust the tips here. So remember how we put those little nicks on? If we just line up our ends, because those ticks were taken off for us, we should be good to go. So if I sew from here to there, I mean, it looks like we're not matching up our seams, but remember, we're sewing a 1/4 inch in. So at the 1/4 inch mark right there, that's where our seams should match. And, you know, that's going to be a hair off there, but we're going to be close. So assuming we've cut our template pieces off, we should be able to go from point to point. Use a wonder clip with a 1/4 inch mark. Ooh, that's a good idea. So our little wonder clips have, oh, let's just use a ruler really quick here. There's markings on the back of the wonder clip, and I'm just going to test which one of those for sure is the 1/4 inch. Okay, so that last marking there, that's our 1/4 inch mark. So I could clip these at that 1/4 inch mark there, and that's where it should be, we should be joining those seams. So I suppose I could kind of watch for that. I don't know if I really need to putz with all that. I think I'm going to just try and match up my edges, my points that I clipped out of here, and then just call it a day. We'll see how good they end up. So I'm going to just grab as we go and just sew and see what happens. I'm just going to hope that I trimmed my seam allowance, or those little nicks out of the top good enough. If they're not perfect, then oh well. And you know, I can kind of see where, right where they meet, I can kind of feel that a little bit, so maybe I can try and get there. Ooh, hopefully these don't get sucked into the machine, the corners. So right here is that point where they meet. I can feel it where the two seams meet. So I'm just going to kind of aim at that point with my stiletto there. And all right, we should be going through that point about right now. All right, now we'll kind of finish lining up the edges here. We'll just go a little slow, see how we do. All right, I'm going to grab 2 more pieces. There, so if we line up these nick points, again, we should be relatively okay. Hopefully. I could clip and pin all this, but I hate doing that. All right, so we're kind of aiming, I think, right here. All right, and then lining up the rest. I think we'll be okay with that. I'm gonna just check on this first one, see how we did, because I'm impatient apparently. Oh gosh, we're kind of way off. But, you know, it's not horrible. We're not so far off. It's going to read how it's supposed to read still. I'm keeping on. Let's just keep going. We only have 2 more to do. Definitely could be worse. It's nice having a little stiletto here, though, just kind of to lead the pieces through a little bit. It's like having a pointy little finger that you can get right up in there. Okay, and last one, right sides together. All right, there we be. Okay, let's see what we ended up with. Skizzers. All right, let's peek at these other ones. Oh gosh, they're all just slightly off, but actually not. Like when I first open them, they look a little off, but once I actually pull on them, you know, like if they're pressed flat, then, you know, that's actually pretty dang exact right there. So happy with that one. Let's check these other guys. Oh gosh, yeah, this one looks a little bit off. But again, when you pull on it a bit, so I gotta press these really flat, I think. Yeah, I think they're gonna look fine. All right, I'm happy. Let's super duper press these guys and see if those points match up a little bit better. So now we're gonna press them open. So when I press them open, I usually, again, give them a little press first, and then I press to one side just because it's easier. So I'm going to really kind of jam the side of the iron in there because I really want these opened up as much as I can. All right. Ooh, yeah, look, those points are matching up way better. Woohoo! Okay, and I'm going to just lay it on the back here, and now we're going to open that seam up. So I'm going to just get my fingers in there. There we go. And this is just so everything lies a little bit flatter, so we have less layers hanging out. Okay, and then we'll hit it on the front again. Ooh, hot. Let's see if we did the points a little bit better now. Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good right there. Yeah, that's kind of neat how they just, if you line up those edges, make sure to get those nicks cut out, these little template bits, all these little angles here. And yeah, then you just line them up and that looks fabulous. Okay, woohoo, I'm really happy with that. Let's do the other three and see what's next. We got a lot of little bits to do yet, I think, on this. We got a pile of half square triangles. Lots of stuff to do. Yeah, it'll be fine. Spread these open. Oh my gosh, you guys, there was snow on the ground this morning. I woke up and I looked out the window and I gasped, like I out loud audibly gasped at the snow on the ground, and it lasted well through 1 o'clock. But wow, that was something else. It's been a while, and we had apparently there were a bunch of accidents in town today too. So just people, you know, trying to remember how to drive on snow and ice. But oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. I mean, I haven't, I guess, been listening to the weather or anything either. But I mean, we have the window open when we sleep yet. It got a little chilly last night, but not dead middle of winter where it's kind of unbearably cold. But it was funny because I woke up and it felt a little sunnier than it should. Like it felt brighter outside than it should have been for that time. And I bet you it was the snow on the ground just reflecting back up, making it look a little bit brighter. But oh my goodness. Yeah, so I think we might get more this week. It's supposed to stay in the low 30s all week, it sounds like, or for all the rest of the week. And with chances of snow in the evening yet. This one doesn't look as great. I think if we really pull on that, then we get that center point a little bit, but I think it'll be just fine. Oh, it was just a shock to the body, though, a little bit to actually see the snow. It snowed, I think, one other time this year already, but it just went away right away. This actually stuck on the ground for a while. Ugh, and it was cold. It was a little, it smelled and felt like winter outside a little bit. Definitely not nearly as cold as it could be, but there was that smell, that crispness. It's almost Thanksgiving already, too. Isn't that something? This year is just going away. All right, there's our last one. All right, let's see what we got now. Let's just add them to our little square here. They're gonna go on the side somehow. I don't need these anymore. So those are the template pieces. Nice to have those done. Oh, remember we went when I picked fabric. I wanted it kind of sunshiny. So we started kind of with the brightest orange color in the middle, and we're getting lighter and lighter as we go out. And we can kind of start to see that. So this is a little lighter, and then a little bit lighter, and then going all the way to white. So we should have kind of like a neat kind of gradient going here when we're done. But okay, and next up, I think we just make a pile of half square triangles. Okay, place a marked C square. Here's some C squares. Oh, we have to mark some. Okay, draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on the wrong sides of 12 of the C squares. So how many are there here? I don't remember. Oh, 16. Okay, place a marked C square on each D square. That's these. With right sides together. Sew on the line, press and trim the excess corner, leaving it. Okay. All right, we're going to make some half square triangles here. So first up, I'm going to, instead of marking from corner to corner on these, I'm just going to fold them in half, and we'll be able to see a little bit. So, and you know what? I'm going to just grab as I go, because I know that there's only 8 of these. Let's just count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah. So when we run out of this stack, then we'll stop folding these in half. But here's what I mean. I'm going to just grab one of these, fold it on the diagonal. So these are the cream pieces. I did all mine in white. And when I fold, I'm not going to stretch. I'm not going to like pull, because that'll stretch out the fabric. I'm just kind of pushing on it a little bit. But then there you go. You get that diagonal. So I don't have to get a ruler and pencil and draw that all out. Just that fold. Well, I can even like unfold it a little bit, get it flat again. But that's the line I'm going to use. So I'm going to put right sides together. And I'm going to sew exactly on that line. So sometimes when we've done half square triangles, we've sewn on either side of the line, but this time we're only going to get one half square triangle out of this. So I'm going to sew along the line exactly down the center, and then we're going to cut off this edge, making a seam allowance. And then when we open it up, we'll have one half square triangle when we're done. So just that one. All right, so that's the plan. Let's sew 8 of these. Get down here again. And like I said, I'm going to just grab, fold, and sew. Oh, here, these might want to get sucked into the machine again, though. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that problem. Ugh, we are going to have to deal with that problem. Oh, boo. I'm just going to try and pick it out a little bit here. Oh, you know what? I think a trick is to pull on, if you pull on the piece that came before, then it won't have a chance to pull down into the machine. Ah, there we go. Okay. I don't think I've ever done that trick before, but I know some of you guys have told me it before, so we're doing it now. All right, so I'm going to try that with the next piece. So let's fold again. And put right sides together. You know, these you want as precise as can be as well. All right, now I'm going to give a little tug on the back of it here. Oh, it's eating me. It's eating it again. Ah. All right, let's come up. We might have this issue tonight. Boo. There. I just went really fast. I pulled on the back end, and then I went a little bit faster with the machine, and that seemed to shake things up a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. We only have 8 of these things. I'm hoping I can make it through 8 without having to come up with a new system. A little pull on it and a little speeding through. right, I'm gonna pull and speed through again. Ha ha! Totally worked. All right, that's my new favorite thing. What do we got? We have 5 more to go, I think. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, we got 10 minutes left. Okay, so I think hopefully we'll be able to finish these half square triangles. And we're on our way to finishing this guy. Oh, there we go. That one came through easily. I might sew the next little part of this before I take all these half square triangles off of here. So let's finish these first. And then we had to fold, we had to do 4 more folds after we're done with this stack, and those go on the ends here. So I think I might just do those right away as well. It's all kind of the same thing, just some are sewn onto the squares and those 2 are sewn onto rectangles. All right, it's in the machine. Grab and pull, that's totally working, okay. That makes me happy. The little wins, right? Leslie, it's just bit by bit. Just do one step, then do the next step. But yeah, it looks intimidating, and it is kind of intimidating, this block, but you know, we're going, doing each step, and it's working out. But yeah, this little tug on the back of these, that's really helping it not get sucked into the machine. I'm really happy about that. Come on. Fabric. There we go. Slow and steady. Exactly. Oh, we just got 2 more of these. Yeah, actually, I think once we get done with these half square triangles and then the little half square, I don't know, triangle ends that we're putting on our big rectangles, after that, then I think it's just assembling the whole thing together. There's nothing else fancy about it. It's just putting rows together. So yeah, we'll get through the difficult part here tonight. That'll be good. All right, this is the last one. There, that tugging really, really helps. Whew, good, I gotta remember that trick. All right, so now we have these top and bottom pieces, and we need 4 more of these. And we should be left with 4. Yep, so these 4 I think we actually just use as squares. These are the corner squares, so I'm gonna set those aside. And these, we keep folding in half on the diagonal. And so we have 2 on each of these, and they go in opposite directions. So you can see the angle here of that, of the fold. We're gonna do the other one go in the opposite direction. So this one's gonna go this way. So see, they're pointing in 2 separate directions here. I'm just gonna place this one while we're at it. Same thing for this one. All right, like so. And now for these, I'm gonna sew from the middle out. So this is kind of what we were trying to do before, like what I was saying with flying geese units. It's easier to sew from that long, having this long shape, being able to grab in the machine, and you sew from here out. That's way easier than sewing from the corner in, because then it'll get sucked into the machine, just like our half square triangles have been going. So I'm gonna sew these from the middle out. And I'm just gonna leave that piece on top there. I'll grab these off right away and sew that second side on. But for now, I think it won't go far. Ooh, see, it wants to grab it and push it into the machine, but there's too much fabric there this time. All right, I tricked it. I think I have my larger needle on the machine yet too. If I switch to a smaller needle, maybe it wouldn't get sucked in as much, but maybe it still would, I don't know. All right, I gotta grab, I didn't do this guy yet. Okay, just making sure that they're in opposite directions, and they are. And now let's go from the middle out again. Okay, there's that one, and we have that one other guy here. All right, and again, checking that they're going the opposite ways. There, we'll have all our little half square triangle dudes done. All right. Let's press all of these. And I'm going to press them first, and then we'll trim off all of the little seam allowances. So a lot of people, here's all these guys, let's trim these. But a lot of people will, for example, with this, they'll trim the seam allowance off first, and then they'll press open. I'm going to press open first because then I can use that other edge as a guide. So when I press, I can line up all three of these edges here, and that will help get a nice rectangle that's not like disproportionate, or that's not like stretched or weird for some reason. So we're going to do that for all of our pieces here, including our squares. Should have 8 of these. Ooh, gosh, this one got sucked up in the machine for sure. All right. Ooh, God, this one did too. It folded over the little edges, but I don't know. We'll do better next time. So, all right, I'm gonna, even with these, I'm gonna fold this back. I think we can squeeze a corner out of there. And I'm gonna align the one edge with all of the other ones. And then after we're done, then I'll go back and cut. But so we wanna press these towards the pattern side, the darker color side. So I'm going to actually bring this towards the other side here. All right, so I'm gonna flip these so that my pattern side is on top. That'll help us. All right, and these ones go towards the white. Okay, got it. Let's press. Make sure our iron's still hot. Okay, get that out of the way. We'll start with these guys. So again, I'm just gonna give it a little press to start. And I have my pattern piece on top versus just my white or my cream piece. It's cream in the instructions. But here, now I'm gonna line up those edges and then give it a good press. There we go. So my two edges match up there. All right, let's make a stack. All right, just lining up those edges again. Sometimes you gotta stretch it a little bit, but that's okay. That's why it's nice having those edges there. Oh, Leslie, I hope it helps. I'm definitely learning right with you guys. I learned a ton from doing the first Splendid Sampler. So this time around, I feel like I can actually use those skills. The first Splendid Sampler, I was just picking up all the tricks. Now I feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit more. All right, that's what, 3? I forget that pressing always takes so much time. I am gonna stay a little later. I do want to finish these half square triangles tonight yet. So we'll press, we'll trim, then we'll be done. So we'll be a few minutes over. Ooh, come on, guy. There we go. All right, 4 more. And then we got the little rectangles to do yet as well. I'm kind of putting the iron on this white piece, just kind of hold it in place while I stretch this other piece to match the edges. Try and pull on this one a little bit more. Okay, getting there. So you can use a rotary cutter to trim off the extra side, but I'm going to just use a scissors. It's going to go faster, and these are so small that I don't need to line them up and have perfect 1/4 inch seam allowances. Just snipping them off will get the job done. Okay, 1 more. But I want to lay this out tonight and see what it's going to look like. We'll get a little hint of it now that we have all these half square triangle parts done. Okay, we got those. Let's throw them over here. And now we have just these 2 fellers to go yet. So I'm going to just do one side first. And again, I'm going to try and line up along those 2 edges there. So I'm going to fold this back and try and align the edges to get our nice rectangle. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Let's do the other side. Oops. Line up those edges. All right, that's our first little bit. See, now we're kind of getting this circle shape. And 1 more. Oh gosh, this was sewn awfully crooked. But again, lining up the edges will help fix some of my crooked sewing. There we go. All right, we'll trim these and lay them all out and see what we got going on for this block. Okay, back over here. All right, so let's just, I'm going to get my nice fancy scissors out here because I just love it. And let's start with these. So I'm going to just fold. We're going to make a mess here, so let's scooch up. I'm going to fold back that top flap because we don't want to cut that off. That's the piece that we want. I'm going to fold that back, and all this excess I'm going to cut off, but I'm going to leave like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and we're just going to snip. And there we go. And now I can fold this back, and that's that piece. Let's do the other side. So fold back the top piece that we want, and then snipping about a 1/4 inch away from our seam, and then fold it back. So that's our first one. Let's do this guy, and then we'll do all those little squares, half square triangles, squares. Then we'll lay this guy out and see what we got. I'm always petrified that I'm going to cut the wrong side, but if I'm not too tired and I pay attention, then we'll be okay. So all right, again here, we got the 3 layers on this side, so I'm going to fold up that first layer, and we'll trim off the excess. There, and that's our half square triangle. Rotate these so they're easier to grab from this direction. Okay, fold back the top. Snip. Set on our pile. I always like things facing the same way so it's easy to grab and pick up and it's in the exact right spot right away. And then I like setting them down in the same way too. Just that consistency helps me not make mistakes. Because if they're all in the same direction, then I don't have to think about it every single time. But yeah, you could use a rotary cutter, like I said. You could fold this back, put a ruler here, and measure exactly 1/4 inch away. But that sounds like a lot of work. Scissors does the job. Okay, last one. Okay, let's see. This is all scrap here. Let's see this all laid out though. Now we have all our elements and now they just need to be sewn together. So let's start in the middle here. Okay, I'm just looking at the picture. We got our side bits. We'll just go. I was gonna pretend that we had a seam allowance by going over. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. So I'm just gonna cross these over just a hair. All right, and this goes up here. Then this one gets rotated in the other direction to get that bottom curve. Oh, it's already looking cool. All right, then these guys are coming at the corners here. Ooh, there's a lot of fabric in those. We got this bottom piece. Oh, we're definitely getting like these cool, it's looking rounder now, isn't it? And then this, go up there. And now what? We have these white ones in the corner. So I'm going to have to put this all away and we'll pick it up again some other time because we're getting a new block tomorrow. All right, where did these go? Okay, the colored part looks like it meets in the middle to make like a little butterfly shape almost. There, like that. Obviously, this will look all nice and clean, hopefully, once it's together. Oh, yeah, these are like little sun rays coming out of here. Oh, it's gonna be pretty with just all the same color. So like I said, I'll show you the picture again, but I decided to use all the same color for the outside versus a mix of colors. And so you can see how different it looks without all the different colors. Like it would have been fun to maybe do different colors here, but I don't know, it looks kind of sunshiny. I kind of like it. So like here's the other way where they did do a lot of different colors on the outside. Mine's gonna all kind of blend together a little bit more, but I'm kind of loving that. And they even, in this block, they even had another example here. So a little paler colors here. But I'm digging it. I think it's going to be really sweet. I mean, it looks a mess right now, but once we get all the pieces. So this is like we got a whole pile. Like there's rows of 5, rows of 3, another row of 5. So there's a lot to handle here. So this is going to be a good experiment of how good our scant 1/4 inch is. If this ends up being 6.5 inches exactly, then dude, we did an awesome job. One thing that I think I forgot to do is with these guys here, these little shaped ones, we have the 4 of them. I did not measure to make sure that they were 1.5 by 2.5 inch in size. So I just want to check that. Hopefully I don't have to trim them down at all, but they should be around 1.5 inches by, gosh, hopefully 2.5. Okay, yes, by 2.5. So it is a little wider. I could trim that. I'm pretty good at 1.5 up here. I'm gonna just wing it. I could trim them a little bit, but I don't want to lose too much either. I think I'm not gonna trim. I'm just gonna kind of leave them as is. But that is something to look at. You could trim them down, if you veered on one side or the other, kind of like I did, trimming it to the 1.5 to 2.5 inches might help you out a little bit. And really these, you could check
to make sure that you're exactly the 1.5 inch too. Mine are a little shy. It's gonna end up being what it's gonna be, but I think I'm gonna like it. The colors, it's all gonna kind of meld together. So awesome, you guys. That is it for tonight. I'm gonna flip you around and we'll call it an evening. There, hello again. So this will take one more round here. Ooh, wow, we are really coming loose here. But we'll work on this one more day. I don't know when. Tomorrow we're getting a new block, so we'll see what that is. If we get really far on that block tomorrow, maybe it'll be like a one-day block. That'd be kind of magical. But if it is a one-day block, then we will pick this up on Friday. Otherwise, maybe we'll do it on Monday. Again, it kind of depends on what this next block tomorrow it is. So this is going in the unfinished pile, but at least we have all the pieces together. All we have to do is sew up the final little sections and then we'll be done. So I'm leaving it in a good place, I think. So, all right, guys, thanks again. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. So you can click subscribe there and it'll show up in your mailbox, hopefully, that a new video is up. I'll get that up tonight. And then it'll stay here on Facebook on the Penguin and Fish page as well. So thanks a bunch, guys. Show me photos of how it's going in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook. I always love seeing those. And we'll be back tomorrow. See what the new block is. Have a great evening. Good night.